How to grow and care for white spirea, ultimate guide. White spirea is well loved among all new and experienced gardeners for lots of reasons. They're easy to grow and care for, offer a quick growth rate, and are strikingly beautiful. They are deciduous shrubs that either bloom during the spring and the summer. The summer spirea bushes bloom in brilliant red, pink, and white flowers on straight branches. On the other hand, the spring spirea bushes delicately cascade into white clustered flowers on curved branches. Cultivation and history. Spirea is a genus with over 80 shrubs in the Rosaceae family. Another spelling of the plant is spirea, and it is gotten from the Greek word spirea, meaning spiral. This is because of the appearance of spirea plants, especially their small, attractive flowers that writhe around each other. The plant originates from temperate areas in the northern hemisphere, most notably in eastern China, where you can find a diverse range of species. White spirea grows in grouped clusters, and each little white flower can be likened to apple blossom, except that it has 5 petals and many stamens. White spirea plants are hardy deciduous plants and are mostly classified as spring flowering. Their leaves are organized alternately on the steps with pointy margins. Also, white spirea shrubs attract many pollinators, including butterflies. They are also deer-resistant and can be very tolerant of cold and heat. Propagation and varieties of spirea. When it comes to the propagation of spirea, the best methods are ground layering, softwood, and hardwood cuttings. Ground layering is the simplest and still effective. It also ensures the stem is yet connected to the main plant while new roots grow. When propagating spirea with ground layering, you have to use long and flexible stems. Hardwood and softwood cuttings are also ideal and should be done during winter and summer, respectively. How to grow. Since white spirea shrubs are easy to grow, you don't have to worry about bending over backward to give them a permanent place in your garden. Though they survive in a wide range of soils, it's better to plant them in soils with a slightly acidic pH, or even better, a neutral one. Also, soil with an average level of fertility is needed. Keep in mind that spirea bushes are not heavy feeders, and you can end up with a sprawling plant if you feed them too much fertilizer. Spirea shrubs need to be planted in areas with full sunlight with a partial light shade. You also need to put in place a drainage system, and if you have heavy soil in your garden, tweak it a little with sharp sand. They are tolerant to drought, but when they're still finding their footing, you have to water the plant regularly. When planting spirea shrubs, start with digging. The hole you're digging has to be double the width of the plant, and have the depth of the root. Next, sprinkle bone meal into the planting hole. Loosen the twisted roots gently before you place them in the hole. After inserting it in the hole, fill it up with the soil you removed and ensure the plant is firmly in place. Lastly, water it and add about 3 inches of compost. Growing tips. Here are some tips to help when growing your spirea shrubs. Don't over-fertilize your white spirea plants. Overfeeding will lead to a sprawling plant, and no one wants that. Feeding the plant once in spring with fertilizer will make do for the whole season. Don't overwater your plant, as wet soil are also harmful to your spirea shrub. Prolonged soggy soil will lead to root rot, which will eventually lead to a dying plant. If you want your plant to rebloom, you have to tidy up the plant by deadheading the flowers that came out after blooming. Give your spirea shrubs enough space to flourish. If they're tightly close to each other, they will undergrow and won't achieve maturity. Pruning and maintenance. White spirea plants require yearly maintenance and regular hard pruning so that they don't overgrow or bloom fewer flowers. Since they are carefree and fast-growing plants, if you ignore the pruning, it'll harm the flowering process of the plant. White spirea plants usually bloom on the growth from the previous year, and so you need to prune them immediately after they have flowered during spring. Cultivars to select. There are many cultivars to select when it comes to white spirea bushes, but there are 2 main ones that you should consider. Bridal wreath spirea. Although this choice is old-fashioned, it remains a timeless classic and is very popular among those who want to plant white spirea plants. The shrub features many beautiful and tiny, double-petaled white flowers. Its branches are also upright and slightly arched, making beautiful hedge plants. The flowers grow in cascades and clusters in early spring. They are also attractive to butterflies and can be used in sunny landscape margins, borders, and hedges. Birch leaf. Birchleaf spirea is another cultivar you can select, as it blooms into groups of tiny white flowers during the late spring seasons. It's a rounded shrub that covers the foliage, and during autumn, it adds more color to your garden, transforming into bright colors like purple, orange, and red. It's always attractive when planted in groups because of its diverse colors, and it is appealing to butterflies, so it'll make a beautiful addition to your garden. It blooms in late spring and early summer and should be pruned during early spring and late winter. Managing pests and diseases. Since white spirea shrubs are very easy to plant and take care of, you can be sure that pests and diseases are not a severe problem. But, since the plant belongs to the rose family, they are sometimes vulnerable to some pests and diseases that other plants in the family suffer. This includes spider mites, aphids, and powdery mildew. You can take care of spider mites and aphids by spraying a lot of water on the sides of the leaves and stems, or spray neem oil and wash your plants with insecticidal soap. If you notice the insects again, you should use these methods. Some helpful insects like ladybugs and lacewings can also be added to your garden to control the pests and add more life to your garden. Powdery mildew, a fungus, also attacks many plants, especially those in the rose family. You can easily spot signs of this fungus when you see its pale dusting of spores on the flowers and leaves of your white spirea. If you don't take care of the fungus, your leaves will droop, and your plant will suffer stunted growth. Ensure your plant is in a position that gets lots of sun and receives proper circulation. If the fungus has already affected your plant, remove the infected parts. Best uses. Spirea can be used in large groups for hedges and can be planted as a group for a screen. It also acts as a perfect specimen plant in a landscape and mixed perennial beds. You can also plant them in smaller gardens or borders, ground covers, low hedges, and containers, along sidewalks, pathways, and rockeries. Since the flowers are beautiful, they are an amazing addition to flower arrangements. As long as you give your white spirea shrubs a lot of sunlight, excellent drainage, and enough room to grow, you can enjoy their cascades of tiny, aesthetic white flowers. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more informative videos.